Welcome to
The Whatever Show, Season 1, Episode 4.
Today's big question is, social media, their wonderful hero?
Or mischievous villain.
Okay, so today we are going to be just kind of like generally talking about social media and I guess kind of the effects and effects and pros and cons
of social media. Should you use it? Should you not?
So just so you have a little bit of background of what Davis and I do, Davis is a no social media user of any kind, and I think I use like 4 main social medias regularly. So I guess with that being said, we should go ahead and jump right into this.
All right. Well, before we get too in-depth, let's give a definition for social media. What would you say that a social media platform is?
Okay. For me, I think that a social media platform is a platform where you can like contact other people, you can engage with like I don't want to say millions because like, you know, the size of the platform will definitely vary.
Right,
but
it
you
definitely
can contact a lot of people in different ways, and you can also kind of like post really anything from like pictures to videos to just like text. So like for people to see. So I think that if you can like if you meet that kind of criteria, then it's like something usually that's widely used and all that. So
Right.
I think that would be my definition.
Yeah, and there's definitely a lot of platforms out there, but I liked your definition a lot, and I think that is a pretty good definition to work with for this episode.
Yeah.
So going off of that, that's what we're using as social media here. And a couple examples just to, you know, throw some out there. Facebook,
Instagram,
Snapchat, Instagram,
Reddit.
If you use Reddit, good for you.
Yeah. Twitter. I don't know if you said that one.
No, we didn't mention that one. But yeah, you know, social media. Some people consider YouTube social media, so that's one in there too.
Okay.
But anyway, that's what we're working with.
Yeah.
And of course, the big question, use it or not? So let's dive right in.
I think probably one of the biggest like draw-ins for social media, for like anybody that's like really new to it, is like the fact that you can like interact with people so easily.
Oh yeah, it's definitely very, very easy to
because it's not
people.
like you have to get their phone number and their email. You don't need to get anything. You just go, this person looks cool. Let me just contact them.
Right.
You didn't like it's complete random strangers.
I mean, you don't even have to drive anywhere. You don't have to worry about schedules or meeting up. I mean, it's just instant, and you're right there. You know?
So I think that's like totally a big appeal. I think that's one of the pros because it's like.
It is very, very easy to get in with connection with people.
See, and obviously there's kind of like a little bit of good and a little bit of bad in all these points. I could almost say.
That kind of can be turned both ways.
Yeah, I mean, if you have someone that's trying to do, you know, horrible things, then, you know, being able to contact easily would, you know, not be what you wanted to happen. So
right, it can definitely come back and bite you, but that is definitely one of the
the biggest like draw-ins.
Right, it's definitely a huge draw-in for social media. It's just the fact of how easy it is to get in touch with people.
Yeah, and I mean it could just be your friends, you know.
Oh, yeah,
not that it has to be strangers, but
yeah, you can definitely meet with strangers easily, but it's just as good for your friends.
Stranger danger. Do not. Okay. And I mean, I think that kind of goes into like one of our cons, which is unrealistic expectations.
Yeah, definitely. I think this one really is. So the biggest draw, I think, is that it's so easy. You can connect with people so fast, and you can just be there instantly. The biggest con, I think, here is that it does give you a false sense of identity, a false sense of security, and it just overall gives you unrealistic expectations for yourself and for other people.
Exactly.
Because, you know, it's on the internet. You don't have to be true on the internet. And
yeah, you have like full control out of everything that anyone sees about like anything that you do, and you can be like completely different on the internet than you are in real life, and you know the random stranger that contacted you would have no clue.
I mean, perfect example here, Snapchat. You take a picture, what's the first thing you're presented with?
the person, probably their face. Do you know
Well,
what I mean?
I meant like, what options does it give you as soon as you take a picture?
Oh, send it just to everyone. Oh, well, I mean, yeah, there are filters.
Filters, that's what I was
Yeah.
going for. The first thing you do when you take a picture on Snapchat, filters. And so like, it's just right there, really easy for you. And it's so easy for people to not be who they really are on social media. And that actually goes, I think, into one of the pros and why people are drawn to it so much is because, like I said, like we were talking about, it's so easy to become someone that you're not.
Yeah.
There's like that sense of, ooh, I can be whatever
I can be whatever I want,
you know?
yeah, and it's like the fake identity that you were talking
exactly.
about earlier.
Yeah, you can be. I
So
can
it
be
kinda
a
just, like,
60-year-old
perpetuates
man
itself.
who
Yeah.
looks like he's a 25-year-old guy who goes to the beach and lifts weights.
Yes, I mean, and obviously that's one of the
Yeah.
not good parts about
Yes, exactly.
social media, unless you just wanted to meet somebody that was that age. So I mean, you do what you gotta do, I guess.
Yeah, so definitely big con there. You definitely get unrealistic expectations of people, and there's that temptation for you to not be true to yourself and just to project that image out there. And that's definitely one thing that's easy, but also one thing that I think is really dangerous for social media.
And I don't think that there's a problem with like changing who you are as a person at all.
Well, right.
It's just being manipulative and trying to like make others think
It's
that
more,
you're changing when you're not.
It's the image projection of trying to show that you are someone
something false.
that you aren't.
Yeah,
right.
okay.
It's just the lying and the image projecting that's so dangerous.
I know. Might as well call everybody a projector.
Yeah, everybody's guilty of it, whether you have social media or not. That's not really something that
Well,
is from
yeah,
social media. It
and-
just definitely helps
Yeah.
with it,
So I think it's just definitely a much easier outlet to like do those like kind of
Definitely.
projections. And I mean, it kind of makes sense to an extent because you kind of go, and this is going back to the unrealistic expectations, is everyone has like, I'm not gonna say everyone has to pretend like this, but most people are going to pretend like they are happy whenever they're on social media,
Right.
Because they don't want to put out that oh, I'm upset, I'm sad, I'm having life problems. Most people aren't like trying to project that for everyone to see,
Right.
so
Well,
it can be
most
misleading.
people,
Yeah.
I will say there are some times where people are on there just to get attention, and
Which
they'll be
is-
like,
yeah.
"Oh, my life is falling apart. Look at me crying in this picture." Ooh."
And then you look at it, and then you talk to them, and they're like, "Oh yeah, well I dropped my popsicle."
Yeah, exactly. And that's not to say that people don't have real problems. We know that, of course, people do have real problems. It's just on social media, it's easy for people to make up fake problems. Is all we're trying to say.
And I mean, with that comes like, another one of our cons that we were talking about is like this like addictiveness that comes with
Yeah,
social media.
right.
Because like once you get that attention, some people that admire it just will like to go and they'll keep on going with it.
Yeah, so it's really, actually, I think it's kind of cool the way it works. It's bad because
It's bad.
it is an
It is
addiction,
bad.
but the actual science of like how your brain like gets caught in that addiction is kind of interesting to me. Where like you'll go in and then you'll put that out there and then you'll get all this attention, all these good things, and that makes a pattern in your brain. And it's
like, oh, yes, good,
Oh
me
yes,
want.
social media is good. It gives me attention, and I like this. And so you pour out and you get more attention, and you pour
Exactly.
out and you get more attention, and then now suddenly 8 hours a day,
Yeah, you're sucked
you're
into-
on there
yeah, you're
all
sucked
the
in-
time.
yep.
You're taking a picture of everything that ever happens in your life,
know,
and
you're
it's just
taking
this
a-
vacuum, because you like that feeling of, oh, people are giving me attention.
See, but then
you know?
that goes into like, okay, you have to do more to have like that same feeling. So then you
Right.
go from
So then
one
you go
post
from,
a day,
right, one post a day is
to
good. No,
12.
I need more.
Yeah.
12 posts, and like, the same thing, the same amount of, gratification you get
Yeah.
from it, the same like amount going in won't supply. So it's always more and more and more and more, and
Yeah.
it fuels that addiction that so many people today have.
See, and okay, just like with most things, there's a balance to, how to, handle these kind of things. And that's like really focusing on real things and focusing on tangible things while trying to like forget like the fake things in the past. So what I'm meaning is like, all of that attention that you're getting is artificial. It really is. That's
Right.
At the end of the day, it means nothing, and it doesn't do anything for you. So okay, from what I understand and like, you know, the experiences that I've had, most people need to reach a point where they're like, you know what, this is all fake, who cares? And then once you get like past that kind of like struggle point in social media, I think, okay, for the people that I have spoken to, it's become a lot more freeing, and like it's like a lot more enjoyable, but not for the same reasons. It's because they're following people that they, you know, this is the easy to contact thing again. You find people of similar interests and you can speak to them. You can also, you know, follow, you know, different communities or follow different like accounts that are like for, you know, I'll just say for an example, video game communities. So they'll post like jokes, like inside jokes for the games, and they'll show like cool gameplay.
Right.
And you like can really apply that anywhere. If you find someone who likes, you know, working on, you know, cars, you could see them, you know, putting together the cars, or maybe, you know, just talking about it. So
yeah, and I think that's a perfect segue into our next pro, is that everybody has equal voice and anybody can get out there, and like they can come out, and you know, there are 7 billion people in the world. And so it's really hard to get a voice sometimes.
That's a lot of people.
It's a lot of people. But, you know, on social media, everybody has the same voice. So you can get out there, and if you love cars, you can talk about cars. And guess what? Other people will come who also love cars and talk about it with you.
See, exactly. And that's, you know, that's the pro part, but it also, you know, there's the con part that goes with it as well, where you have people that are, you know, talking about things that aren't necessarily great, or things that are, you know, trying to hurt others, and then they like are encouraging others to do the same, and it just like kind of like goes in like a really bad cycle where people are just like continuously hurting others just for the sake of, oh, well, you know what, this stranger did it, so why, you know, wouldn't I?
Yeah, the fact that everyone's voice has equal power is definitely a two-edged blade, because on the one hand, like you were talking about, that means that any bad guy, any person or anyone out there who has bad intentions, or, you know, they're out to hurt people, they have the exact same power, the exact same voice as the person who's trying to go out there and, you know,
save the trees.
Right,
you know?
Save the trees, or, you know, do something that they really care about, or just promote whatever, and they have a good voice. They have the same exact power as those with the bad intentions.
Yeah.
So it's definitely, it goes both ways, because it's a great chance for the individual, because, you know, you can get out there and you can have a say. Your voice is going to be stronger out there. But, just because, you know, it does come back with everyone else too. So.
And, I mean, like you were just saying, with everyone having their own voice, it's really cool. And it's a very unique situation as well, because everyone from all kinds of diverse backgrounds, like, just like crazy diverse. I mean, it can be like different places, it can be intellectually, it can like all kinds of diversity. And everyone is able to speak on it, and everyone is able to have like a conversation. And now, whether if that conversation is good or if it's going south, you know, it can be either or. But I mean, that's definitely a part of social media that makes it so enjoyable for, you know, the user. Because I mean, obviously the companies want, like the tech companies that run the apps, want it to be as enjoyable as possible. And since you give them that equal platform, you know, it gives you some, you know, there's like obviously a lot of pleasure that comes from that. Yeah.
I mean, like you said, that's another pro. It's just enjoyable. People like to do it. So.
Exactly.
Yeah. So anyway, we've been through some pros, some cons, but before we continue, we want to go ahead and say that this episode got a sponsor. First sponsorship.
And I guess we should go ahead and tell you who it is now. Today's video is sponsored to you by Caleb's Creations.
He sells awesome soap.
It's so awesome, and it smells so good. And this is another pro from, you know, the social media standpoint, is you are able to, you know, put your business out there, which is something that I've done.
Exactly.
And, you know, if you want to, you can purchase some soap and get 15% off.
And the best part, it's on discount right now.
Oh, yeah. So you would just need to message me, and I will, gladly make you some soap for 15% off.
All right, well, shameless plug
Yeah,
aside.
yeah.
Let's get back to the episode. We
But,
just wanted to let you guys know that that's something that's going on.
Exactly.
You awesome viewers out there, we
And
love so much.
I'll put a link in the description to both of those pages that you can find me on Instagram and Facebook. And that way, if you guys are interested, like I said, you can get soap. But yeah, it's super great for businesses, especially small businesses.
Oh yeah, you can definitely get your small business out there with social media.
Exactly.
It's a really powerful tool. And I mean, like, even look at us. We
Yeah.
have our podcast here.
And I've been using my social media side, plugging it every single Monday,
Right.
trying to get it out there.
Putting it out there,
And
getting the word out.
Exactly. And just trying to, let everyone have a good time like
Right.
we are,
I mean, social media definitely is a great promoter, and that you can't argue with that. It is definitely
literally
a
anything
good
you want to
promoter.
promote. Like, you could be like, I like bees, and then everyone would be like, yeah,
Yeah,
we love
bees!
bees.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, I do like bees.
Yeah.
No,
If you love bees out there, we were
Yeah.
not making fun of that.
No, I love bees too.
Yes,
Yeah. We're with you, bee lovers, anonymous. No. But it's just really an interesting tool because, like I said, there's so much good and so much bad that can come out of it, and it just really depends on, the person. So if we're like trying to think about if it's a wonderful hero or if it's a mischievous villain, we have to like
Dun, dun, dun.
think about it like this. What are you getting, or what are you trying to get out of social media?
Exactly. It all depends on how careful you are, how addicted you are, and what you're trying to get out of it. Because whatever you go in trying to get, you're going to get that plus a little extra. That's why you have to be really careful.
Exactly.
Because
And
no
it
matter
may
what,
be a bad extra
right,
or a good extra.
it could be good or bad because both are out there, and that's why I think at least social media is something where if you want to take that risk of going out there, it has a lot to offer. But you do have to be careful.
A lot of drawbacks,
right, it does
too.
have a lot of drawbacks. So you have to be really careful. Like we said, it's got everyone out there. Anyone can post anything. It is addictive.
It's a Westworld almost.
Right,
yeah.
exactly. It does have those addictive properties, and a lot of people, they can't control it, and they'll get lost, and they will spend way too much time
And effort.
I mean,
so like they're draining themselves from like the things that they love in life, and then they're not spending time with the people they love
exactly.
or care about.
I mean,
and
they're just so wrapped up in the social media that they forget about all the rest of the world, and they miss out on those actual real life
because
events.
they're soaked into, like we said before, the great amount of attention that you can get from social media. So
yeah, me personally, I'll go ahead and tell you my stance on this. We've showed you the pros and cons. I am worried about myself, about how I would respond to all those things, because I know that I can really eat up attention. It's just a character trait of mine. So I was always cautious, and I actually don't own any social media for that reason, is because I want to be super careful, because I know that if it did get a hold of me, it would absolutely take me over. Like I would be on it all the time. So I've kept myself away from it for that reason.
yeah, and I completely understand that, and that is extremely valid. And honestly, I know, like, for at least the people that I've spoken to that don't have social media, I'm always trying to, like, I'm always campaigning against it, just because unless you have someone really, like, rationalize it and kind of, like, talk to you, like, about it and, like, what kind of mindset you want to have when you're going into it, you're going to get thrown under the bus. You're going to get wrapped up. You're going to get, addicted for whatever point, like, however long is really up to you as a person. But for me, I went into social media for the wrong reasons. I was like, oh yeah, you know what? This is me, like, as like a, I think like a 13-year-old or something.
Very impressionable age.
Yes, exactly. I was like, oh yeah, I totally, it would be so cool to be famous on, social media. But everyone thinks that, and it's very silly. Obviously, I do not, try to do that anymore, obviously. But I mean, it was definitely it becomes a roadblock just because you need to be productive and you need to be able to do things. But whenever you have those social medias, they're constantly like, oh yeah, look, there's so much stuff to view, there's so much stuff to consume. So I think, okay, if I'm going to give the viewer the best advice about social media, if
The
you
wrap
think
up.
that you have
Sum of everything together. You know?
yeah.
This is the answer
the guide to
the
social
question.
media. Yeah.
Wonderful hero or mischievous villain? Here it is.
Okay.
Here's the answer.
So, your personality. If you are kind of have like an addictive personality, or if you like or seek attention, then you probably do not want to get on social media because it will consume you.
Absolutely.
Now, if you are in a place where you're understanding what you want from social media is different than attention, and it's something that you can manage, and you know that because you proved it to yourself with other things in life, then like I said, for the small business side of things, it is amazing. It is the wonderful
a
hero.
wonderful tool. Absolutely.
So it really is. It's on your personality. It's on you as the person. But for the average person, I would probably say I wouldn't fool with social media until you were in, you're probably in your like, I don't know, late teens, like 19, maybe 20.
I would definitely say that it absolutely has benefits, and it has some very good benefits too. I mean, these aren't small little benefits.
They're big deals.
Like, it does offer some really nice stuff, but it is so dangerous and so easy to get addicted and to like project get wrapped up all in it and see all those bad influence that anybody can put out there. And it's so dangerous. It's like
it's just better to stay away from.
On the one, like, it's got all the good, but then there's all the bad that comes with it, and it becomes a really big risk. And so, depending on the person, that risk can absolutely come back to bite you.
Exactly.
So, our final bit of advice, our summary,
is think about what you're doing and think about yourself as a person before you decide on social media.
Exactly. Spend a long time thinking about it. Really think about yourself. Think about who you are. Think about if you are secure in yourself.
Exactly.
Or how much other people play into your self-security. Because if you are someone who relies on what other people say about you a lot,
social media is going to tear you up.
Oh yeah, social media is a terrible idea, and you definitely need to stay away from it until you have an absolute strong sense of like self-security, and you know who you are, and you're sticking to it,
Yeah.
So with that, I think this episode is just about done.
Yeah.
What do you say? Any final thoughts?
Final thoughts. We will see you guys next Monday at 10 o'clock.
Next Monday
in the
at
morning.
10.
We hope that you guys enjoyed this. If you have missed any of our episodes, there is totally a playlist link that you will be able to see like right now.
Yep.
And we hope you guys enjoy. Have a great day, and we will see you guys in the next one.
Adios.
All right. Bye.